What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Fearless Nick YouTube channel, and in today's video I'm going to be going over my 2022 AFL Finals predictions. I'm going to be going over the entire finals series from week 1 all the way to the grand final. It potentially could be one of the bigger videos I do this year. If you go on to enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, share and subscribe. Like I said a number of times, we're trying to grow the channel as big as we can. But anyways, hope you enjoy this video. Yeah, without any further ado, let's get stuck into it. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the final 8 teams of 2022. But anyways, let's get straight into it. The first game, we're just going to go from left to right. We're not going to go in from, Friday to Saturday and all that. We're just going to go from left to right. The first qualifying final between Geelong and Collingwood. This is probably one of the more interesting matches over the last month or two. Obviously, the Cats, I believe they've won 13 games in a row, or something like that, something crazy like that. It's been a great year for the Cats, no doubt about it. They're the best team in the comp at the moment. Collingwood, obviously, they had a very, very famous victory in probably one of the games of the year last on Sunday against the Blues, scraping into the top 4 by 1 single point, which was absolutely mad. But in this game, you'd expect the Cats to be too strong here and go through to a preliminary final. This game will be played at the G, so it might give Collingwood a little bit of an advantage considering they can't play it at GMHBA for obvious reasons. But no, I expect the Cats to be too strong here, and I reckon they'll get over the Pies, and I'm going to go the Cats to beat Collingwood in the first qualifying final by 23 points. Next game we've got is the Dockers up against the Dogs, the first elimination final at Optus Stadium. The first final ever that the Dockers have played at Optus Stadium, so it's going to be great seeing all those Freo fans turn up and witness a final for the first time since 2015, I believe, was the last time Freo made the finals, and they were very unlucky to miss out on the top 4. Whereas the Dogs were very, very lucky to sneak into the top 8. I believe they snuck in by 0.6. So, yeah, it was very, very close. But they can thank Collingwood that they did get into the finals, the Dogs. But I think we can all agree they're kind of making up the numbers a little bit this year. I think a lot of people would say they probably don't deserve to make finals. I'm probably in that basket as well. I thought they were quite inconsistent all year, and they're just really making up the numbers. So I think Freo should be too strong here, especially in Perth. They want to put on a big show in front of their home fans, and I reckon they should be too strong for the Dogs at Optus Stadium. I'm going to tip Freo to win that game and kick the Dogs out in week 1. I don't think it'll be a 2016 or in somewhat 2021 run for the Dogs. I think Freo will kick them out early, and I reckon the Dockers will be too strong by 27 points. Now we move on to the second elimination final between the Lions and the Tigers. Obviously, as a Richmond fan, I'm looking forward to this game the most because, it's a big game. It's a big test for us. And I know the Lions haven't been in great form, but it is at the Gabba, so it'll give us a good test on the road. Obviously, Brisbane have had a really ordinary last 2 weeks. It's fair to say they weren't convincing at all, I didn't think, against St Kilda, and they, if it wasn't for Max King, they probably wouldn't have made it, wouldn't have won that game, and they got absolutely demolished by the D's at the Gabba, where they had the home ground advantage as well, so there's no excuses in that game. Whereas Richmond, for our sake, we've won, I think, 3 in a row now, knocking off some, okay opposition, I guess. Teams like Port Adelaide, Hawthorn and Essendon, which they're all right teams. Maybe Essendon not so much, but look, I can see, honestly, I wasn't surprised when I saw Richmond were actually favourites for this game, considering the Lions' form. And especially, I think Cam Rayner's been suspended, so it's going to be even harder for the Lions. So I reckon even at the Gabba, I reckon the Lions probably won't last too long, I reckon. And in these big games, I think you just got to back your own team. So I'm going to be going Richmond to win this game over the Lions and kick the Lions out in week 1. And I'm going to go the Tigers to win this game by 34 points. I think we'll just be too strong for the Lions. I think we'll be ready for that game, whether or not Dusty and Lynch play. And the final game of week 1, we have got the D's up against the Swans. The D's had a magnificent win, it must be said, over the Lions at the Gabba. Something a lot of teams haven't been able to do this year, beating Brisbane at the Gabba. It was really no contest, honestly, for the D's. They just were way too strong for the Lions away. So their away form has been really good, but it is at the MCG. Which you'd think would be a D's advantage, but they're coming up against a Swans team, Sydney Swans team, who are no pushover. No matter where they play the Swans, they seem to play every ground perfectly, even GMHBA Stadium, which is very hard to do, as most teams know. But I think, this is probably the hardest game to pick of the entire round. These two teams very, very well matched, I think, but. I think I'm going to go. I think the D's should be winning this game. I think they're just a little bit too strong for the Swannies. I think just because, the Swans are still a very young side. They've proven they can take some big scalps. The Swans did actually beat Melbourne earlier in the year, but that was when they were in that form slump. Melbourne are now in some good form, so it'll be a real test for the Swans. I don't think it'll be a blowout at all, but I'm going to say the D's win against the Swans in the second qualifying final. I'm going to be tipping the D's to win that qualifying final by, let's go, 16 points. So that leads us into the second week of the finals. We've got Collingwood up against Freo, the semi-final number 1, and then semi-final 2, we've got Sydney up against Richmond, probably at the SCG. Well, it should be at the SCG. So we'll do Collingwood, Freo first. Wow, this is... Both these games are really well matched. I think Freo, I think the Dockers will probably want to get a bit of revenge on Collingwood for obviously being kicked out of the top 4 for Collingwood. So it is at the MCG, so Collingwood will have a bit of an advantage there. But Freo have proven they can win games interstate this year, which is something they haven't been able to do over the last couple of years. I don't know who to go here because I feel like if both teams play their best, it could be a real contest. But I'm going to say Collingwood, they're the kings of the close games. They made top 4 for a reason. I don't think Collingwood will go out and straight sets. I really rate Freo, but I feel like Collingwood will pinch this one. Collingwood will win in another thriller, and they'll get the job done at the MCG over Freo by 5 points. So that leads us into the second game of the semi-finals. We got the Swans up against Richmond. Obviously, last time these two played, Richmond got out to a bit of a handy lead. I think it was like 34 points or something along the lines there. The Swans came back and won by a goal. So it's these two, I think we match up really well, I think, against Sydney. But it is at the SCG. That kind of makes me worry. We don't have a great record at the SCG. As much as I want to see us lift and go through, I reckon the Swans will be too good for us. I think they won't want to go out in straight sets. The Swans, they want to get at least one finals victory this year. So I'm going to tip the Swans to win that. I don't think at the SCG we've had a really bad record against Sydney. In fact, I don't remember the last time we won there. So I reckon the Swans will win that game, and I reckon it'll be close, but I reckon the Swans win it by, I'm going to go 14 points. So that leaves us on to the prelims. We've got 4 teams left. That means it's Geelong up against Sydney and Melbourne up against Collingwood. Some massive prelim finals here. Oh, wow. Geelong and Sydney. This is huge. I don't know. I think, well, I've heard a lot of Geelong fans saying Sydney's almost their bogey side. Sydney seemed to have a really good record against Geelong. We saw that when Buddy kicked his 1000th goal that game. The Swans absolutely ran over the top of Geelong, even though Geelong weren't great at the start of the year. Oh, you know what? Upset. We're gonna make this video interesting. Screw it. Sydney beat Geelong again. Geelong don't make it to the grand final. I'm calling it now. I reckon they'll win the first final. Geelong. It is at the MCG though, so this, and like I said, the Swans, they play every ground beautifully. They don't miss a beat, except for maybe Adelaide Oval. That might be the one exception. But we got to make this video interesting. We can't just have it boring and, you know, just say Geelong, Melbourne, and, you know, the top two teams make it. I reckon Sydney go on to beat Geelong in the prelim. I know that sounds out there, but if you think about it, Sydney, they're Geelong's bogey side, and at a neutral ground at the MCG, I reckon the Swans will pinch it and win by 8 points. I reckon the Swans will win that game and advance to the grand final. And the second prelim final, we've got Melbourne up against Collingwood. Now, Collingwood have beaten Melbourne twice this year. Once, obviously, on Queen's birthday when they absolutely steamrolled them in that second half. And the same thing happened, 10 rounds later or something? In round 21, the Pies came back and won an absolute thriller by 7 points in one of the games of the year, in my opinion. However, surely Collingwood can't get through to the grand final. That would be unbelievable if Collingwood got through to the grand final after finishing 17th the year before. That would be unbelievable. But I feel like Collingwood, they'll make it to a prelim, but I think the D's will finally beat Collingwood. And I reckon the D's will advance to the grand final and win by, let's make it 15 points. The D's advance by 15 points in the end. So that means we have a Sydney-Melbourne grand final. A rematch from the qualifying final. We have a qualifying final rematch. So, like I said just before, these two teams very evenly matched. The D's obviously have won it last year. They want to go back to back. The Swans, after a bit of a rebuild, have started to shoot back up the ladder, and they're playing some great footy. This would be an awesome grand final if this turned out to be, because, like I said, Sydney and Melbourne very evenly matched. I feel like this could actually go either way. But I think the D's will do it. I think the D's will do it only because it's at the MCG. I think they'll just have a slight advantage over the Swans. I'm predicting the D's. The D's will be going back to back in seasons 2021 and season 2022. That is unreal. I do really rate Sydney. I feel like they could maybe go all the way, but I just don't see them beating Melbourne at the MCG. I'm still going to tip the D's to win the grand final and go back to back. So there we go. D's fans, let me know about your thoughts. Do you see the D's? Do you see your team going back to back this year? I reckon if Geelong get knocked out in the prelims or something, I think Melbourne are on. But yeah, honestly, I could see. I think it really is between Geelong, Sydney, and Melbourne at this point. I don't think Collingwood or any team below that can really win it. I can see an argument for maybe Richmond, maybe Collingwood. I don't know, but that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we're trying to grow the channel as big as we can. I'm going to be continuing to upload over the coming weeks, hopefully a video a week, somewhere around there. But thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers!